Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing a drunk book review, but this time I'm not doing a review of a book that I hate. I am going to do one that I enjoyed for the first time since I started this series. So today I will be reviewing Desperate Measures by Katie Robert, the first book in the Wicked Villain series. This is my first time reading anything by Katie Robert. A lot of people have been talking about her recently, talking about how much they love her work, so I decided to go ahead and jump on the bandwagon. And I've had this book on my Kindle for a while. I think I got it when it was on sale or something, and I need to clear out my Kindle TBR, so I decided to go ahead and get started. So for today's drunk book review, we will be drinking Stella Pink. I've never had this before, so hopefully it's good. I had the, black for the first time and I didn't like it, so we'll see. Okay, I can work with that. So Desperate Measures is a sort of Jasmine and Jafar retelling. The characters that we follow here are Jasmine, Jafar, and Ali. I have not watched Aladdin in a very long time, and it wasn't one that I watched constantly as a kid. So if I'm not mistaken, the name that Aladdin gives to Jasmine is Prince Ali. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. I literally have not seen this movie in decades, so I don't know. So in this, we start off with Jasmine finding out that her father sold her, and it was a business deal where he wants her to marry Ali because it will strengthen their company. But Ali has a reputation of being a misogynistic, sadistic piece of shit. Jafar, though, is her father's right-hand man at the time, and he stages a coup. So he kind of offers her an out, and then we follow them from there. Overall, I did enjoy reading this as a whole. I did have some issues with it, and I'll get into all of that, but it wasn't bad. I didn't really have any expectations going into it. Like I said, still trying to figure out the whole romance thing. I will be continuing the series, and I rated this about 3.25, 3.5. So before I get into the spoilery part of my review, there is a content warning in the beginning of the book. And this is kind of where my issues with this book started. So the content warning is for consensual, non-consent sex, which I have issue with that phrasing. And yes, I understand how BDSM works. I know that there is an agreement beforehand and that there are conditions and a pre-spoken agreement and safe words and all of that. I understand that. I'm fine with that. I don't care. My issue started first with the content warning because I was like, okay, well, that doesn't look great. Like, that's not a great way to start. But there is a scene in chapter 2 where at this point there is no agreement. Yes, I know that Jasmine was attracted to him, she wanted him, she knew that she could have used her safe word. Jafar knew all of those things also, but at that point there is no agreement. Even though Jasmine didn't really care, and yeah, later on she does say that she wanted him to catch her and all of that. That's beside the point. There was no agreement at that point. So that's how I feel about it. My mind is not going to change. Yes, I understand all of the things that go into that. I still didn't like it. Didn't like the way that it was worded. Like I said, I have reasons for it. If you want to have a conversation, we can do so. I'm not arguing with anybody about it, and you're probably not going to change my mind, just like I'm not going to change yours, and that's totally fine. But I just wanted to put that out there. So at this point, if you have not yet read Desperate Measures but would like to, this is your official spoiler warning. Okay, so let's start with the characters. I really like Jasmine. I love how fierce and fiery she is, and I love that even though her father had very strict rules and, you know, things that she can and can't wear and whatever, I love that she didn't let that stop her. She was still getting books, she was still getting information, she was still learning about what her passion is. Also, in general, I think that adult romance is pretty sex positive. But for Jasmine to have been so sheltered and a virgin and to never have any experience, I love how open she was. I like that she wasn't afraid to explore what her interests were. And when she met Meg, the realization that she might also be attracted to women. It was like a, oh, okay, this is an option. Okay, yeah, I think this is for me. And I love that there was no hesitation there. So I do like Jasmine as a character, and I'm interested to see if she pops up in any of the future books in the series. As for Jafar, I have to admit that I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan in the beginning, and I was like, this might change, he might grow on me, like, we'll see. It didn't change at all. Still don't like him, still didn't like him by the end, so there's that. I think I'm just like not into the possessive hero thing. It feels weird to me. I also didn't like how he was like, I don't know how to comfort her because I'm not a good person. Like, bruh, literally just try at this point, okay? Like, it's not hard. You can do it. Come on. As far as Ali and Balthazar, honestly, I'm glad both of them are dead. There's really nothing else to it. I was glad that Jasmine was the one to kill him and that she reclaimed her father's empire. Love that. It was super badass. And honestly, I wasn't expecting it, so I really enjoyed that part. So in this one, we also got to see Megara, Hades, Hook, and Tink. I'll start with Tink. It didn't click in my brain that it was Tinkerbell. I don't know why. I just did not make that connection. I was like, oh cool, Tink. Like, that's a cute little name. Nope, Tinkerbell did not compute at all. I was a little like upset with myself because I felt stupid, but also I'm not a huge Peter Pan fan. I don't even know if I watched the entire Peter Pan movie ever. And from what I remember about Tinkerbell, she basically dies if she doesn't get enough attention, and she was super jealous of Wendy because Peter paid attention to her. Like, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that didn't click for me. Meg and Hades. I'm kind of mad they betrayed her. I know they made a deal and business and blah blah blah, but I thought maybe Meg and Jazz were gonna be friends, but I guess not. I think the next story is about Meg and Hades though, in Hercules. I feel like I heard somebody say that at one point, so we'll see. Even though I read the first book on Kindle, I think I want to get physical copies, so I gotta work on that. And I think there's another book about Hook and Tink somewhere in there. I'm not sure where, to be honest, because I think the third one is Sea Witch. I could be wrong about all that, I really don't know. So yeah, I think those are all of the important characters anyway. As far as the story itself, so y'all know I struggle with romance in general because actually for once, tropes didn't bother me here necessarily, but there were some certain elements that just really made me roll my eyes. So for the most part, I am not a fan of like pet names. But the ones I hate the most are Daddy and Baby Girl. So what do they call each other? Of fucking course. And the scene where it first happens, like I felt it coming. Like I knew it was gonna happen and I was like, oh shit. Now I have to deal with this for the rest of the fucking book. And then I also felt like the word cock was being used excessively, so naturally I looked it up. It is used 73 times. 73. This book is only like 230 pages. That's a lot. As far as other elements of the book, the political intrigue is definitely there. I am wondering what's gonna happen with Jafar's plan to expand his territory. It was mentioned that he'd probably go after Hook first and that Hades and Meg didn't really want that, but I don't know if that's gonna come up in the next book because I feel like I took a peek at the synopsis and it was talking about something totally different. So I don't know, we'll see. I can't really speak to the BDSM element, but it seemed to be good representation. I hope it was. I assume that's a recurring theme throughout the rest of the series, so we will see. Like I said, I will be reading the next book at some point. Not next month though, because I already have my TBR figured out. But yeah, overall it was good. I'm interested to see the rest of the characters. I think I'm gonna keep my rating at 3.5 and we'll see how the rest of it goes. So if you have read Justin Rogers, let me know, or let me know if it's on your TBR. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.